Hey, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the NEAR token. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. If you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to check that out before watching this one so that you have more context, as I'm not going to be repeating a lot of the stuff that I said in the last update. So I did have this white trend line for multiple weeks right now, and I did tell you that this was a support trend line that we needed to backtest as support in order to move back to the upside. So this is exactly what we did, and I did warn you that we can potentially start going even lower than this trend line if you start opening candles below it and start hitting your head on this resistance line. It would be if we're below it, and you will potentially start moving down from there, because if you're hitting your head on a resistance level, you're gonna start getting sent back down. But that didn't really end up happening, because we really opened up only one candle below that, and we immediately recovered in that same day to the upside. So you could arguably say that we held this line perfectly as support. Yes, you had some wicks below. You could have bought in at those wicks, and if you did so right now, or you, let's say, bought in exactly at this trend line, then right now you're up around about 28%, which is pretty good, I would say. The 20 EMA is the yellow line that we have over here. The 55 EMA is the red line over here. As you can see, we did have the bearish cross where the 20 EMA crossed below the 55. That was your indicator that you potentially can start moving to the downside after you see that bearish cross, because usually what happens, you have a move to the downside, you get the bearish cross, and afterwards you get even another leg down. So in this case, this didn't really happen. We started getting above the EMAs right now as the markets are recovering, and we're looking for that bullish cross where the 20 will cross above the 55 EMA. So yeah, that's something. This is bullish right now, but this is not ultra bullish, I want to say, because this can still be a continuation of the downtrend. Now, why is that? Because you have a high over here and you have a low over here. And if we end up running into resistance right over here, and you get sent back down and you lose this trend line and you come back lower, this is just going to be a continuation of a downtrend. So really what we should be doing is breaking this high over here at $20.12. So that's something that we should be doing. If we don't do that, well, I would expect another leg down, either back to the white trend line or to the 1.272 over here on the fib retracement. Now, let me just set up another quick little fib over here to see where we may run into. So I'm going to use the swing low that's over here, and I'm going to use the all-time high as the swing high, which is over here. So as you can see, we have the 0.5 over here, and we have the golden ratio over here, and we have the large 1.414 over here. So we have three fib levels, right, from two different fibs, or from two different fib retracements. So I'm going to take a rectangle over here and just mark this zone like this. And I'm going to say that this is where we end up running into and we're going to get sent back down from there, because we do have the golden ratio over here. And usually what happens with these retracements and with these dead cat bounces is that you set a high, then you start moving to the downside, you set a low, and once you start coming back up, you usually run into the golden ratio, which right now is 15.32 cents, and you get sent back down for a lower low. So keep an eye on that, and let me just give you the price tag for the golden ratio. That's $15.33 and $14. So anywhere from $15.33 all the way to $14 is where I would say that it's enough to, well, it's a good place to take some profits if you're looking to take some profits. But only if you have to. I really don't recommend selling any crypto basically right now, because we're nearing the bottom and we're starting to recover. I do think there is another pullback incoming though, but I just wouldn't risk it, right? I just would never recommend selling your crypto right now. So yeah, if you need to take some profits, then yeah, this is a zone that you can potentially look into and then just buy back in lower. But yeah, that's just how we use this little fib over here. So let's jump into the RSI real quick. Okay, so we do have these resistance trend lines that I've shown you in the last video. So we do have the yellow support trend line at the index of 36.13. If we do end up dropping once again, that's a zone that you should be eyeballing because we've had a nice bounce from there twice in the past couple of months. So that's an important area for us at the moment. Now, the white trend line and the pink trend line above represent resistance levels that we have run into at a combined amount of times. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So potentially you are going to run into this zone once again and get rejected either from the pink trend line or from the white trend line, even with this relief rally, right? And something like this can happen and you get sent back down and you end up getting oversold if we're going to have a flash crash. But regardless, I do think we're going to end up hitting our head on this level over here. Now, I've been talking about the Chinese New Year a lot, and I'm predicting. I never really do kind of these predictions for pullbacks, but I do think we're going to get a pullback sometime from 8th to 9th of February. So in the next couple of days, I do think we're going to have a pullback after the Chinese New Year. Last year, it took us 7 days to have that flash crash, not flash crash, but it was a pretty decent crash. It took us 7 days to crash after the Chinese New Year. So now I'm expecting another crash. So let's see. This is just people liquidating. This is just people getting liquidated with their short positions, and people are going to open up a bunch of long positions. And once we start dropping, those will get liquidated as well. So it's a nice payday for the market makers, for the exchanges, and for the manipulators and such. All right, enough of that. Let's jump into the Binance chart. Now, jumping into the 4-hourly chart, I did give you this rising wedge a couple of weeks ago. We did break down from there, and we held the 0.5 on this Fibonacci retracement very nicely. The swing high of this Fib retracement is on December 26th, and the swing low is on December 4th. So we held this zone very nicely at the 0.5 at $10.04. From there, right now, we're up 37%, which is not that bad, not bad at all. Below that, we did have this $8.93 support level and $7.72 support level, but we never got to those. And I did tell you that just keep dollar cost averaging as you keep going down. Never buy all in at one price, because let's say you bought all in at the 0.5 over here and the price dropped lower. If you had spare fiat, you could have bought in more, right? But at the same time, if you bought all in and it didn't drop lower, then you would be in a much better position. But that's the thing, like, you can't know what's going to happen, so you have to manage your risks at all times. Now, the 4-hourly 20 EMA is getting just a bit overextended from the 55 EMA. The gap in between the EMAs is unhealthy at the moment. So I am expecting a pullback to the 55 EMA at the least in the next couple of days. If we see a major pullback, I would say that $11.30 is a good area to take to dollar cost average in, because we've broken through this area over here. Let me just show you. We've broken through this area over here and we haven't had a back test of support, and this is exactly what can happen with the next pullback, right? But if the pullback gets nasty, you can potentially land back on the 0.5, or you still have the support levels from the last video. Feel free to stop the video and have those, recorded or whatever. Make sure to draw out the fib as well. Make sure to draw out the patterns and everything, just so you can follow along and learn the ins and outs of the technical analysis. Now let's jump into the oscillators. So on the 4-hourly chart, as you can see, we have been overbought here for the last couple of days, and now we're starting to move back down. Now on the 4-hourly chart as well, we're starting to print bearish divergences because we had this move to the upside. The RSI printed a high, then we had another move to the upside. The price action printed a higher high. However, the RSI printed a lower high and another lower high, while the price action stays on the relatively same level. So this is a bearish divergence, and we're potentially going to start moving to the downside. The MACD is potentially printing a bearish cross. So all things are pointing towards a pullback over here, at least to the 20 EMA on the 4-hourly chart at $13. So if you want a dollar cost average in at the 4-hourly 20 EMA, feel free to do so, but I wouldn't do it right now. I'd wait for a pullback in the markets. But that's pretty much it, guys. If I missed out anything, please let me know down below in the comment section. Let me know what you think of the markets. Are you expecting a pullback? What do you think about the Chinese New Year having this effect on the crypto markets? Feel free to follow me on Twitter. I do post technical analysis in there for some of the projects that we don't follow on the channel and some of the ones that we do as well. We do have a Telegram chat with an amazing community that will help you out if you have any questions. We do have a Discord server which has a ton of news updates regarding the crypto world, and we do have technical analysis requests, useful resources. We do have NFT and airdrop alerts in there. Feel free to check that out. And we do have a Patreon as well, which is a great way to support me and a great way for me to give back to those who support me. Thank you guys for 18 patrons. That's a lot, you know, that is a lot of patrons. And we do have around about 60 posts a month right now. I do post 2 to 4 posts a day on Patreon. And it's just a great way to get low cap gem calls, buy, sell alerts, mid cap crypto highlights, market sentiment analysis, and, you know, a bunch of stuff, you know, requests, anything you want, guys. Feel free to check out the Patreon. Links are in the description. I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Goodbye and good night.